Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
Hi. I'm good.
Are you good?
Hi.
Hi. How are things?
Good. Very good.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
You look
What?
cute today.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do, and I don't want to fight about it.
Okay, thanks. But I just feel like I look weird.
Yeah, I mean, no, this was a incredibly rough morning for me from a looks perspective.
Mhm.
I went dermaplaning last night, and let me tell you, it didn't go well. Pilot's license revoked.
You did a little construction.
Yeah, we're a work in progress, did a little construction. If you don't know dermaplaning, it's the little razor blades on a stick, which whoever gave me a razor blade to slide around on my face on a stick. And one of my biggest fears I think it's an accurate fear. I try to hold my eyebrow when I go above the brow, like with my finger, because I'm afraid to
Shave your eyebrow off?
shave my eyebrow off. But the problem with that is then I can't see, so I don't have as good visibility. So it's like eyesight or a risk of brow loss.
You're just like blindfolded shaving your face.
Oh, I look like every teenager in their coming of age, like the boy that shaves for the first time with like the tissue paper all over, like the Grinch.
Oh no.
Anyway, so I have a lot of concealer on today, but yeah, it went off the rails a little bit. Hurt. I looked very splotchy. I looked like I needed a Benadryl.
You're like, I'm raw.
No, I'm raw. I was like trying to look for a new layer of skin, and let me tell you, I found several.
Yeah.
So
Well, I just feel like a potato.
why?
I don't know. I just, it's a feeling.
You know what? Should we call it potato days? Like there needs to be a thing that because we all collectively have it.
It's not goblin, but it's just like potato where you're just like, I'm not cute.
No. Goblin and potato are completely different. They can sometimes intersect. But yeah, I know a potato day when I see one. It's not a potato
You're looking
day.
at it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling just like, the hair is not hairing. The face isn't facing.
That's crazy because your face color never declines. Universally, everyone, that's what you're known for.
Thanks.
And that little slick back. Meanwhile, I'm just like taking my tissue paper off as we come in the studio.
Real silly goose behavior out of you.
You know what? I didn't mean to wear the t-shirt because of that, but maybe that is subconsciously.
Subconsciously, you did grab that for a reason.
Well, I did that. Okay, that makes sense.
All right. Well, we got some hometown heroes and some WWDDs.
Let's see where the heroes are at.
I don't know
because we really started off on a negative note.
I don't know if it's a what would disrespectfully not do day, but like
truly.
Anyways.
Grab your dermaplanes and your band-aids and let's do some hometown heroes. Welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney
and Dana Cathan.
Unapologetically,
we're here to do what we want to do.
Spilling the tea.
Babe, you're gonna see the power of women, like
disrespectfully. Abigail says, "Hi ladies. I want to start off by saying I absolutely love you both. I fell in love with you while watching VPR, and I'm so happy you guys started a podcast. Also kind of cool, Katie's from Utah. I'm born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah. I like that it looks like slit when it's SLUT.
Okay, do you think that's intentional? That has to be intentional. Like have you ever you're from there. Have you noticed that before?
Yeah, I like when I see it though on paper.
Yeah, you need a t-shirt that says like born as or whatever, however we want to put it.
I know. Like, I'm not from there though. I'm from Park City.
Oh, are those not the same?
They're not the same.
Okay, so geography never been my strong suit. How far apart are those?
They're like 20 miles or about 30 minutes from each other.
Okay, because in Seattle, everyone says they're from Seattle, but no one is from Seattle. Particularly when I tell people where I'm from and they know the area, they do one of these like but we still say Seattle. So like I feel like if that were in Seattle, that's close enough. Like I'm probably 30 miles south of Seattle.
Well, I mean, it's probably people that say they're from LA, but they're from like a nearby city, but they say LA because people be like, where's that? And they're like LA. Oh, okay, cool. It's a better point of reference. Anyways,
sorry to interrupt you
she says, anyways, I'm listening to Hometown Heroes on your pod. They made me in a factory. And was reminded of a time I also broke a penis. Wow. Everyone's out here just breaking peens. This was back in high school with my boyfriend at the time. It was prom night, of course, and we decided to continue the party at my friend's house. My ex and I went into the bedroom for the prom night activities, but didn't think about warming up and just went for it. He went to stick it in, and the little skin on the underside of his penis, it kind of looks like a vein.
Oh, no.
I was just discussing this with people, and they referred to it as a banjo chord. Anyways, and
What people? It wasn't me.
No, it was some boys. Google says it's the tight frenulum. Snapped and ripped. Yep, ripped like a rubber band that's been stretched too far. He was bleeding, and we were both in shock looking at it when my friend walked in. She got to see the full view of his little, not so little, blood friend. Ew, blood friend. And then just walked out. We didn't have sex for a couple weeks, and he fully healed, but that is how I learned it's possible to break a penis. I have more stories from my post-divorce era that I will definitely be sharing in the future. I love you both. Yeah, there's like a little...
How did this come up in convo that I wasn't a part of?
I'll tell you that later, but...
no, I think the whole class wants to know.
No. I don't know.
I know exactly who you were talking with, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, penises, man, they're wild. But yeah, no, I mean,
I guess all the times I've looked that in the eye, I've never thought that it had an actual
it's
name.
got like fragile like skin surrounding it, and like it's like the casing of this, I guess, is really fragile. But yeah, I guess if it's not properly lubricated, it can really pull on it and rip this.
I just picture the like scary movie of the Red of he's like turning and it's like splashing the walls.
I think it's more particular on uncircumcised penises because it's sort of like it's when they cut it, it's like that particular part, like I think it's snipped or whatever.
So it's more sensitive on uncircumcised because when it's circumcised, there's less of it.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my God, Nate.
I don't have so I haven't like really fully like, but yeah.
Gotten in there, figured it out. Well, if I ever see one again, I'm going to take a look and just really.
When was the last time you saw penis?
I want to say March, but possibly April. So it's been over 6 months and I'm like, okay, so I wasn't necessarily planning on telling people that I'm on one of the longest streaks of my life since I've been sexually active. But now that it's a thing, I feel like I have to let our pals that are listening know when it happens. But I don't know if and when it ever is going to again. I'm like, would I even know what to do with it? We just don't know. Also, I feel like if you rip someone's dick, you have to do it when they get better. Like, it's just kind of like one of those things where the punishment fits the crime. So I wonder.
Well, I don't know. That might be a little too intense. Like that was like way more constricting. And
well, no matter what this young man does, again, I hope he does it with a lot of lubrication because, that's obviously why this injury happened.
I'm sure even like erections are painful for him for a while. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's so like Charlotte Sex and the City when that guy gets latent circumcision. And then every time he gets a for like a week, he's like in agony.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, interesting to say that they had sex when he healed. So obviously their relationship was really strong, obviously stronger than his frenulum.
Yeah. What is it called again? The tight frenulum.
Frenulum, pardon.
Well, also known as the banjo chord. Okay. Anyways, next.
How long do you predict that do you think I'll make it to a year without having sex?
No.
Okay.
No.
Project. I hope that for
before
me.
Christmas.
Ooh, you're
girl.
a naughty little elf. Okay. Great. Stocking stuffer. Tell me about it.
Stuff your stocking.
We should have Krampus on the pod.
Okay.
Anonymous says, hello, ladies, from a day one listener. I love when Wednesdays roll around because I get to listen to Disrespectfully on my commute to my girl boss attorney job. I get about halfway through the episode by the time I get to work and listen to the second half on the drive home. We're just so happy to be in your business 2 days a week. I love that for us.
Invading your space.
Today, I pulled up to work at the same time as my crush. I unplugged my phone, grabbed my bag, and rushed over to his car so we could walk in from the parking lot together. Smart. We paused and had a flirty chat in the lobby for a few minutes. Then we walked quietly through an open floor plan situation to get to our office area. It was at this moment I noticed that my phone was still playing your latest episode out loud and had been the entire time. I must have been distracted by my work crush and didn't notice that the pod was still playing loudly from my back pocket at 9 a.m. in a quiet office. Right at the part where Dana was describing putting a Magnum condom in her purse as a form of manifestation. How many times do you meet someone in your life and they're like, oh, should we listen to your podcast? I'm like, I don't know. Like whether it's a new dating person or like a parental figure. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
I'm like, I don't know. Do you like talking about dicks? Like that? Yeah, sure. Tune in. I hit pause, ran into my office and shut the door behind me. But I'm sure everyone heard, including my work crush, who did not stop by my office to chat all day. Why do iPhones hate us? I don't think they hate us at all. I think that they wanted to put your business out there so your work chat, like your work crush, could know what he was getting into. Maybe your work crush just wanted to Google what a magnum was.
Oh,
maybe they didn't know.
Well, I hope not.
I hope they know. But I think he's just intimidated by you. Or he was like, you know what, that podcast sounds really cool. I need to go find out what it is and listen to it so I know what she likes.
Yeah, maybe they didn't stop by the office because they were listening to the podcast.
That's probably what, our viewership, I think, went up that day.
They wanted the tea.
Our listenership, yeah. They're like, all of a sudden she starts finding tiny ducks all over her desk. Then you'll know for sure.
Yes, exactly. I mean, listen, the amount of times I've been embarrassed and just like haven't recovered from it because of things like that. Couldn't count.
Well, also, to be fair with this podcast, there was a lot of worse things. I feel like episodes you could have been on when that happened. So
poop stories?
Yeah, it wasn't great, but at least it wasn't the water slide poop story. You know, I would rather have Magnum condoms than dealing with that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? When I was going through to pick these, I was trying to avoid the poop ones, and a couple of them like tricked me, and I got all the way down to the end and then realized the kind of story it was. But alas, we're still talking about it.
I don't think this might be a poop-free episode.
Ooh, we love a poop-free episode.
Yeah. Well, hopefully your crush came back around. I hope so.
With a big bag of Magnums.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hey, I have a question. Do you know if you're getting enough magnesium? Believe it or not, 4 out of 5 Americans aren't, which is why we're all so tired, and I used to be one of them.
Same here. I lie awake at night and my mind be racing about all the things I had to do the next day, which left me feeling completely exhausted the next morning. And my productivity would completely tank, and it just became this vicious cycle.
That's when I found Magnesium Breakthrough. Ever since adding it to my nightly routine, I've been able to calm my mind, fall asleep faster, and wake up feeling genuinely refreshed and ready to face the day. It's been a game changer for me.
What makes Magnesium Breakthrough different from all the other supplements is that it contains all 7 forms of magnesium.
I didn't even know. I thought there was one before this.
No.
There's 7.
There's 7. Most magnesium supplements only give you 1 or 2 forms, but this one delivers everything your body needs. It doesn't just help you sleep better, it also helps you keep calm and grounded throughout the day, which is an absolute must for me.
And the best part, it comes with a 365-day money-back guarantee. So if it doesn't work for you, you can get a full refund. No questions asked. There's literally nothing to lose and everything to gain.
So if you want to sleep better and feel more relaxed, head over to buyoptimizers.com and use promo code disrespectfully to get 10% off your order. And if you subscribe, you'll get even more discounts and free gifts, which we love. Trust me, your body will thank you.
The days might be getting shorter, but the action on DraftKings Casino is here to stay. Play hundreds of games of endless excitement.
Try your hand at classic table games or set the slots on fire with fan favorites like Cash Eruption.
Cash Eruption. I want some of that. New players can play just $5 and get 50 instantly in casino credits. Download the DraftKings Casino app and sign up with code disrespectfully. Then press play on your favorite games and join the fun. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org.
Please play responsibly. 21 plus. Physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. Eligibility and other restrictions apply. One offer per new casino customer. Casino credits are non-withdrawable and expire in 168 hours. Terms at casino.draftkings.com/get50. Ends November 24th, 2024.
I'm really excited to talk about today's sponsor, Wild. If you haven't heard of them yet, they're here to shake up the way we think about bathroom essentials, especially when it comes to deodorant.
I switched to Wild a few months ago, and it's honestly been night and day for me. I was looking for something more natural and eco-friendly, and Wild's deodorant completely fits the bill. Not only does it keep me smelling fresh all day long, like literally all day, but it's also gentle on my sensitive little skin.
I feel the same way. I started using Wild because I wanted a product that wasn't full of harsh chemicals like aluminum or parabens, and I love how they use clean, plant-powered ingredients. It's got shea butter and coconut oil, so it's super moisturizing. Plus, they're refillable, reusable cases. I mean, that's absolutely brilliant. No single-use plastic, which means I'm helping cut down on waste with every refill.
Right? I feel like I'm doing something good for my skin and the environment. And the scents, don't get me started. They're amazing. My favorite is the fresh cotton and sea salt. It's so refreshing.
Oh, well, I'm all about the coconut and vanilla.
That's so you.
Yeah, that's so me. It's such a warm and comforting scent, but not overpowering. Plus, I love that Wild has a subscription option, so I never have to worry about running out. They just deliver straight to my door right when I need it.
Same. And let's be real, who doesn't love convenience that's also eco-friendly? Every time you refill your case, you save over 30 grams of plastic from going into a landfill. That's a win for everyone.
Go Wild today with 20% off your first order when you use code disrespectfully20 at checkout. Go to wearewild.com/US and use code disrespectfully20 at checkout for 20% off, or simply click the link in the episode description. Enjoy.
Again, that's wearewild.com/US. And don't forget to use code disrespectfully20 for 20% off. Go check it out and make the switch to Wild today. I feel like shopping for guys during the holidays is always a struggle. And it's not because, like, you know, I usually just don't have a guy in my life. I mean, how hard is it to figure out what they want, right?
Oh, totally. They're either super picky or they have everything already. But I actually found the perfect sweet spot with Mack Weldon. You want them to feel good and look good, and Mack Weldon just gets it.
Just gets it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's their light as air underwear, anti-odor tees, which thank God me, or even sweaters that are warm but still lightweight, it's all there and it's all amazing. I love that you can get everything for him in one place at mackweldon.com/gifting.
Plus, you can build a pack of underwear, socks, or tees and save up to 15%. So this holiday season, upgrading his underwear drawer just got way easier.
Oh, and speaking of upgrades, have you tried their AirKnit boxer briefs? Their mesh structure keeps you cool and dry and comfortable all day long, makes you not stinky. It's a total game changer. I got a set for Logan and he's obsessed. The only man in my life.
Yes. I went with the Ace sweatpants, which are made with this amazing micro brush French terry. So comfortable but still stylish with that tailored look. They'd make the perfect gift for any guy who loves a mix of style and comfort.
I mean, Logan is style and comfort, so that makes sense.
Totally.
And don't even get me started on their silver tees. Supima cotton and anti-odor technology. It's literally next level.
I'm telling you, Mack Weldon is the way to go. And right now, you can get the perfect gifts for him at Mack Weldon. Go to mackweldon.com/gifting and get 25% off your first order of $125 or more.
That's mackweldon.com/gifting.
All right. Adriana says, hello there, ladies. Are you gals reading through my diary? Perhaps, I don't know. I'm convinced that if it were somehow possible in 1985 for you both to procreate and have a baby girl, it would have been me. Wow. That's quite the compliment. Since we're on the Josh Hartnett topic, I'm excited to finally have a hometown hero story worth submitting.
Interesting.
The year was 2009 in Miami. Days leading to this event, people were talking about how Josh Hartnett had been spotted out and about at the clubs. Come to opening night at a well-known art gallery for a well-known LA artist. Some of my lady friends and I decided we were going to pop in and start our night off there. We get there, and again, Hartnett's name is being whispered around. At this point, I'm already eye rolling. It's not like we haven't seen a celebrity in Miami, especially in the nightlife scene. I sneak away to my car for a cigarette, and whom do I see outside? None other than Mr. Pearl Harbor himself. To this day, I've never watched the movie, so thank you, Dana, for the synopsis.
It's a spoiler. They spoiled it.
Not sure if this was intentional, but he walked up to this group of ladies asking them for a lighter. Keep in mind, none of these ladies were smoking, but obviously thrilled to see him. Here I am on the wayside, smoking and enjoying the show. LOL, thinking to myself, sir, for one, you're not unrecognizable, and two, how do you not have a lighter? I returned into the gallery and spilled the tea to my friends. Fast forward, later that evening, we get to the club and he's there. Some of my friends were losing their minds since he was sitting with a few of our other friends. I can't exactly recall the details. You would think I would, but this was over 15 years ago. Whoa. I was on the way to or from the restroom, but I run right into Mr. Hartnett, and because I had that liquid courage in me, I decided to ask him if he wanted to join me and my friends at another club. That's 3 times club. Well, I was not at all expecting the following to happen. He smooched me and proceeded to call me a bad girl and said he can't because this is his friend's after party. He's best buds with artists whose opening we had been at earlier. I was so confused because of what just happened and just walked off to find my friends and obviously tell them everything. We stayed and continued to party with everyone. There was another moment of smooching at the club with Josh. Say club one more time.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay the club tax. If you say it again, you owe everyone $20.
We then later joined that group and others at the hotel after party. By that point, he had found someone else to smooch with. But it was still a fun night/morning nonetheless. And I'll always have a funny story to share when his name comes up. Hopefully you all enjoyed and maybe we'll run into each other in LA at a show/concert one day. XO. Wait, there's pictures. Us, LOL, Josh Hartnett, me. Oh my God. Wow, good for you, girl. Bad girl. You're bad girl.
How would you feel if someone called you a bad girl? Like that. They like just kissed you and they're like, you're a bad girl. And all they did was ask you to go to another club. I'd be like, are you okay? But then Josh Hartnett,
that's a weird like response to someone just asking you to go somewhere. But like, I don't know, if someone called me a bad girl, I'd be like, thank you, more please.
Not him cheating on her. I'm like, it's like, not to like, I'm sure you all tire of my Sex and the City references, but it's like when Charlotte is at her gallery opening and she goes to look for more champagne and her date is making out with someone. And she's like, did the last 2 hours mean nothing to you?
Make out slut.
I love that he was asking for a lighter. I hope he's a smoker. I forgot to tell you something, and this is a little backdated, but can I tell you a story that really irked me?
Yeah.
This is gonna be a Hometown Heroes basement real quick because it relates to cigarette smoking. Okay, so to be honest with all of you and myself, I did smoke a couple cigs the other weekend. I was out at the Justice show.
Bad girl.
I was a bad girl. And guess what? They're the best cigs in my life, so I don't care. And, you know, I'm probably somewhere in Europe right now when you're hearing this puffing away. But I came out of the Hollywood Bowl where Justice is playing, and I was walking down the street, and I just keep going, cigarette? Does anyone have a cigarette? Because usually you smoke, you just spot someone, you just ask them. But no one was smoking. Everyone was vaping. They're offering me their vapes, and I'm like, what am I, 12? No. So finally I shout, in a joking manner, I will Venmo you $20 for a cigarette. And this girl who's right next to me turns and goes, you'll Venmo me $20. And I'm like, I'll Venmo you $5. And she pulls out a brand new fresh pack of cigarettes. Wish I had gotten her name so I could slander her here. Not even a luck flip. And let me tell you, in the smoking community, if someone is asking you for a cigarette and you are flush, you give a cigarette away. That is literally insane. So Logan was with me and he had cash on him. So he went and handed her $5. And she goes, and she's like kind of handing them to me. And she goes, well, where's your money? Or I can't remember who she said it to. She was looking for more money. And I went, he just gave it to you. And I snatched it out of her hand and walked away. Anyway, then I'm going down the street, just full circle moment for smokers etiquette. Then a nice gentleman comes up to me and says, do you have a lighter? And I said, absolutely, I do. Do you have another cigarette so I can enjoy it later? And he goes, let me give you 3. And he had half a pack left. So I'm just saying, if you're a smoker, there's not many of us left out there. And we really have to take care of each other. And don't sell your cigarette for $20 like a loser. And then I saw her on the street corner smoking it while we were like walking up to Raleigh's house and at her a little bit.
Yes.
Quietly. But so I don't know if I should have done it really in her eyes, but basement.
Wow. What a hustler.
That's gross, right? I was like, and we're shoulder to shoulder in.
I know that they're very expensive these days, but like that's ridiculous.
Guess what? A pack of cigs is cheaper than a vape. So yeah, they are expensive, but you have a full pack. You're not that hard up, ma'am. There's just you just went to a concert. I'm guessing you paid a ticket for. You can afford to be here. You can afford to give me one single cigarette. And also karmically, your cigarette luck is shot. I hope next time you are having the worst nicotine craving of your life and you look at someone and they just blow the smoke in your face and walk away. Yeah, that's what I wish for you.
She's probably like, why don't you just buy your own? That's probably her.
Because I quit smoking.
She's like, you know what the worst kind are? People that quit, but then they just want to bum off of everybody.
That sounds like something you would say. We need to move on. Anonymous says, God bless your Hometown Heroes episodes. Summer 2023. I attended a wedding in my hometown and ran into my high school boyfriend who I hadn't seen or talked to since we broke up when we were 17. We ended up staying up reminiscing until 3 a.m. with a small group of old friends. Sounds wholesome, right? Until they all reminded me that his mom used to call me the devil and I spiraled into that shame memory. Summer 2007. My dad was out golfing for an afternoon when I was 17, so obviously it came time to have innocent sex with my boyfriend in a twin-size bed instead of the backseat of his car. As we were clumsily undressing each other and pretending we were in that scene with the Notebook, we heard some noises coming from downstairs. His mom let herself into my house, somehow located the stairs, and sprinted up to my bedroom. He got most of his clothes on, but I was shirtless and cowering, trying to cover my tiny boobs with my gym shorts. She pointed her finger in my face and screamed, "Busted," laughing crazily, and dragged him out of the house. I was the devil from that day on. Looking back as an adult, I can't get over how gross it was for an adult woman to point her finger in a girl's face and blame her for what was clearly a two-man operation. I held on to a lot of shame from that day in my life, but when we caught up at the wedding, I finally could take a step back and look at our roles as parents and adults and see how twisted her response was. Thank you for reading. Love you too and your pod.
Why was his mom busting into her house?
Also, did she bug her room? How did she know what was like what activity? What if they were playing Monopoly? What if they were playing Sorry and you just ran in on that?
You know, kind of crazy behavior from his mother.
Yes, and I will say my mom did crazy shit, so, may she rest, but she would sit here and say the same thing. I never saw my mom run. She wasn't like a runner. She wasn't a jogger, wasn't really into calisthenics. The wind speed that a mother can reach in the short amount of time that she thinks that fornicating is happening is so scary. All of a sudden, my mom is a Olympic track star looking when she's coming to bust me for having sex. So it's like, but for it to be his mom and him to say busted at her and that she's the devil, like they came up with that idea together. Okay. It wasn't her idea.
It's like he was like tied to the bedpost and she was, I don't know, like that's just.
Yeah, that's insane. But I think it's a universal thing that moms have a little radar. Did you ever get caught boning?
No, I wouldn't bone in my parents' house.
Okay, well, we're different. So I guess that's why punishment fits the crime. But
no.
Anywho, well, you and I are the same. And guess what? You aren't the devil. But if I ever saw that woman again, I would introduce myself and be like, "Oh, do you remember me from high school? I'm the devil."
Yeah, you're like, what? She's like, no. She's like, how about now?
Remember these?
Wow. What a fucking kook. Anyways.
Love that for you.
Love
that. We really started this episode kind of in disarray. So should we now tell other people how to fix their lives?
Yeah, we probably should.
Should we WWDD?
We'll WWDD. Full of good advice today.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Anonymous says, "Dear Katie and Dana, day one listener, I love you ladies and am such a big fan of you both. We love you too. Dana, I especially relate to you as someone who has lost their mom. You are a tough cookie and I love your dark humor around the topic as it makes me feel sane because I do the same. Okay, well, never stop doing that. Please don't worry about making others comfortable. So I have been with my partner for 7 years. We've lived together for around 5. I find myself being the default adult in our home. We don't have any children other than fur babies. Yet I am the one who cooks, cleans, and pretty much does all life admin. He has no input whatsoever, and despite requesting he help me around the house, he will help me for one day and then it's back to square one. I cannot understand why he would not help if he also lives in this home too. It has become exhausting caring for a man-child. I have tried to quit clearing his things and leave them where they are or make a point of not cooking dinner. However, I cannot sit in a dirty home. It is causing me to resent him and not feel a desire to have sex anymore because he does not help with the mental load. He does not see why I refuse sex or when I get mad, so then it just comes to build up until it boils over. Any advice would be appreciated. Love you both. Anonymous X.
Ugh. Yeah, becoming someone's mother would definitely kill any kind of like intimacy or make them less attractive to me, for sure.
Well, I'm like, not to bring up Sex in the City again, but it's like when Samantha's like, I don't know whether to blow him or burp him. Like, the thing is, it's funny because when it is the dynamic of the woman who picks up most of the mental load and the sweat equity in the household, which unfortunately I do feel like is the
Standard.
is the rule. It's not the exception. Men seem to be universally baffled by this as to why that leads to intimacy problems for them, because when you don't feel like you're emotionally being taken care of, and that is how someone can emotionally take care of you, or one of the ways, you shut down sexually. Like in a relationship that I used to be in, very healthy sex life until it was like maybe 2.5 years in, when emotionally all these things built up, and that was the first time in my life that has happened to me, and I completely shut down. Like, could not have sex with him anymore. And I feel like you guys have been together for 7 years and you've lived together for 5. And if this has been a consistent problem, unfortunately, it sounds like this person is not equipped. I would say personally, it's worth having a conversation to let them know like how dire it is for you and how much that A plus B equals C. And it's frustrating that you should even have to explain that when like also living in filth. I'm so neat. Like I couldn't imagine having to deal. I too, I couldn't just let it sit. So I would take it on. But I think that it's worth saying that this is weighing me down in a way that's possibly detrimental to our relationship. And this can't just be a thing where it changes for a day and then goes back to what it is. I need you to show up in this way, or I'm not going to be able to continue with this relationship.
Yeah, weaponized incompetence is a relationship killer. And I think, he might understand like, oh yeah, okay, sure, I need to like help out a little bit. But like I would like kind of put the onus on him of being like, do you want to be in a relationship, or do you want just a caretaker? Do you want a mother? Do you want a nanny? Like, because that's not what I signed up for here. I signed up for a partnership where it is 50-50 in every aspect of it, where we take care of each other emotionally, physically, mentally, sexually, like all those things. And it's like, it's not hot. It's not attractive to me that I have to sit here and cook you meals and clean up your fucking socks and just follow you around cleaning up after you. That's what your mom does for you. Do you think that's hot to me to be your mother? Like, do you think that makes me want to get on my knees and blow you? Like, no, absolutely not. Like, that's just not, that doesn't make me, do you know how much more attracted I'd be to you if you were like, let me do this for you. Let me take care of this for you. Do you know that how charged I would be for you? Like, put that on him and like let him think about it in a way that's not like, again, yelling at him or nagging at him. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but just like reframe it in a way. And I think hopefully that will sink in.
Would you agree with the statement that a lot of men out there, in describing what they're looking for in a partner, are actually describing their mommy?
Yep.
Bingo. And I'm sorry you're dealing with that. It's tale as old as time.
Yeah. But hopefully it can be rectified before it's just shot. But I mean, honestly, if he doesn't want to make any changes, like, then why stick around with that?
If you're having to do the work for 2 people, why not live alone and live your best life and have only the mess of one person be cleaning up after?
Yeah, for reals. Okay. Kara says, hi, ladies. Love, love, love the pod. Truthfully, I'm very many episodes behind, but I love throwing the YouTube recordings on while I'm sharing a meal with my cat, Luna.
Oh, Luna. How Luna we say, meow.
Meow, meow. Now to my dilemma. I'm 28 and just had my first big heartbreak. TM. I like that you trademark that. Not to say I haven't been heartbroken before this, but I truly thought this man was my soulmate and that we would get married. But he backed out 2 months ago, 12 days after agreeing to be my boyfriend officially, and 1 day short of the 6 months since our first date. And I've been wrecked ever since. I'm trying to follow Charlotte from Sex and the City's half the time you dated to get over it rule, but your girl is struggling with the no contact. My logical brain knows that there were a lot of reasons this man wasn't right for me. Mixed signals, horrible texter, never initiated, et cetera, et cetera. But it felt like such a deep soul connection. It's hard to not look at it like right person, wrong time. Despite that always ultimately translating to the wrong person. So far, I've only broken my self-imposed no contact rule once, but it seems to be getting harder rather than easier for me. Any advice you two baddies can offer on staying strong and not drunk texting him would be greatly appreciated. Love, love, love y'all. XOXO. Huh. Well, sometimes the shorter relationships with the heartbreak are way more painful and feel so much heavier than long-term ones, for sure. So I fully get that. But you knew that it wasn't going to be right. And I think sometimes, I think even just like the knowing of it, when you're like, this person is so wrong for me because they're terrible. Like they can't text. They're not going to initiate. They're just, you know that they're shit. And it's just like, I don't know, maybe you saw some kind of potential in them and all that. All of those things. It's like it's like the dumb bitch university schooling of just like, I don't know. We just can't get it through our fucking skulls. And it hurts. I don't know what it is. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a great lesson that we cannot just fucking get.
Yeah, I think that something that's so important in that situation is to please take this person off the pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
They're not special, babe. This is not your soulmate. This is not a special person. I guarantee you in 3 years, you're going to look back on this person and be like, LOL. I say this again, summa cum laude from Dumb Bitch You. So I truly, this explains like most of my dating history. So it's like, can you write this down for yourself and read it back? Mixed signals, horrible texter, never initiated, but there was a soul connection. He was good at going down on you.
Yeah.
It wasn't a soul connection.
No.
He ate you out well. That is what was happening. And I think that
he put it on you real nice, and that was it.
Mm-hmm, he put that dick down.
You were dickmatized.
You were dickmatized, my friend.
Yeah.
But also, sometimes there's like this electric shock, and it feels like this is passion and this is excitement and it's a soul connection. But in really, it's instability. It's like sometimes real love ends up feeling boring at first because you're like, I'm used to this push and pull and, you know, up and down and whatever. But in reality, it's because this is not stable, what the relationship that you were experiencing. And also 12 days after agreeing to be your boyfriend officially, so he had to agree to that. He wasn't like enthusiastic about it. And I'm just context clues. I'm not saying for sure that's what happened. But what I am saying is I think that you are putting too much weight in the wrong area and you're making this person more special than they are. And a lot of times, I'm not even saying this is like a delulu. I take this from many experiences I've seen my friends go through. When I know how special they are and how amazing they are, a lot of the times you're the special one and you're projecting that onto the other person. And like, you're like, oh, but the conversation was great. Or is it that they just could carry a conversation and you're a great conversationalist? And so it felt like this great, wonderful
conversation.
You were
the good time.
You were the good time,
You
babe.
were the funny one. They were just there.
They were just along for the ride. So in the meantime, I would say delete their number, block them on everything. That's just the quick advice I would have for you to get you through this period where you're still undoing those synapses in your brain.
Don't think about like what could be, what should have been. Maybe like in a year from now when their life gets a little bit easier or they're not going through this or that, we can, be together. Not gonna happen. And also I think too, you want to contact them because you want to know that you can still get their attention too. Like, don't do that to yourself. You're looking for something. You're looking for some kind of reassurance in the wrong place. Correct. Don't do that.
Don't do that. You're the gift.
Yeah.
Block him every time that you want to text him. Go ahead and just read that sentence again. Mixed signals, horrible texter, never initiated. That should dry you out. Okay.
Yeah.
There should be no KY on earth that can combat that.
I don't know.
Anyway.
All right. Hope that helps.
Anonymous says, hi, ladies. I love everything about the pod and how entertaining you both are. You never fail to make me chuckle quietly at my desk at work. Thank you and love you. We love you. I'll try to keep this short and sweet for you both so y'all can help a girl out as quickly as possible. My boyfriend and I have been together for nearly 6 years. Everything's been great aside from the lack of intimacy. It's not a him problem, it's me. I've always wondered what is wrong with me. I'm attracted to this man, but have no urges or desire to do anything sexual with him. This has been a problem for quite some time now, and we have had many arguments about the issue. I do love my boyfriend so much, and I hate that I'm jeopardizing our relationship because of something that is wrong with me. I think a couple pods ago, Dana had mentioned the term asexual, which I had never really thought of until hearing it. After doing some research on what being asexual was, I have been starting to think that is something I identify with, and it scares me. I haven't had the chat about my discovery with my boyfriend yet, but I am terrified about the thought of the combo. How do I go about this? I'm afraid that when I tell him, he won't be accepting of it and will leave. Okay, love you, bye, and help. Sincerely, a lady who is hard to love.
Okay, you're not hard to love.
I'm going to cry. You're not hard to love.
Okay, I think in relationships that are long-term, it's totally normal to kind of go through these spells of just like intimacy, dry spells, if you will. I'm wondering, hear me out. It's not a him problem, but could it possibly be? I mean, okay, I don't want to like assume here, obviously, but if you're not having any urges to do anything sexual with him, like how are you attracted to him? Like you have to work at those things to keep, that sexual chemistry alive, to keep that relationship, an intimate relationship with somebody alive. So what's going on there? Because I don't think you just like wake up one day and you're like asexual.
I would say, first of all, me and Katie are not psychologists, we're not psychiatrists, so we obviously can't diagnose you with anything. But honestly, as I started reading that's the first thing that I thought of. So I think that a lot of times, like, there are people in life who discover they're gay, lesbian, later in life. So I think that is definitely possible. I'm not saying that's for sure what it is. At the same time, I think it makes sense to just talk with a professional about that, a therapist or whatever, in terms of before you even talk to him.
Yes.
If you are or if you aren't asexual, honestly has nothing to do with him. So that's something I think you need to figure out for yourself.
That's what I mean. Being asexual has nothing to do with the person you're with. But I'm just curious about your intimate relationship with him, and maybe that needs to be further examined.
Right. So yeah. So what I'm just saying is I would give space for that. That is a possibility. But it's also possible what Katie's saying is that it's just like he just doesn't do it for you anymore, and you can love someone, but that love can develop into a different kind of love that doesn't necessarily mean that you're interested in having sex with them. But yeah, I think that is possible, and you should take a look for it with it. Honestly, what concerns me here more than anything is that you signed off as sincerely a lady who's hard to love. I think that if you have the mindset that you're hard to love, you honestly probably shouldn't be in a relationship, and you have some things to take a look at. Like, I think that's really, really sad for me to hear that that's how you feel, and, wanting to understand where that's coming from in you. And I say that as someone who spent many, many, many years believing that I was the problem and hard to love. And yeah, I think there's just some inner goings-ons and things that you need to tap into before you bring it to him. And then you guys can, either work it out together or not. But also, it sounds like he is agitated about that. And I understand that it can be a frustrating thing as a partner who you feel rejected and whatever. But like, I don't know, I don't want to read too far into it, but it doesn't really feel like he's bringing compassion to the table with it.
No, obviously not. I know for me, being in a relationship where that happened, I thought, oh, well, sex isn't like the most important thing. And like, I still had love for the person. And so I thought, like, because I didn't always want to be sexual with that person and had a hard time getting myself to that place with them, that maybe I was like just not interested in sex, truly. And I was like, just I don't think relationships like need to have that all the time. Like I had this very similar thoughts until you get out of that and you realize like, no, I am a very like sexual person, and I know how important sex is in a relationship. It's just sometimes you're not with the right person.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter like that you're not attracted to them or you are attracted to them. It's just like when that's, I don't know, when that sort of thing dies between you or you don't work at it, or I don't know, that intimate relationship dies between people. Of course you're not going to, I don't know how to describe it. I'm just saying like I've been there before, and it wasn't me, it wasn't him. It was just, but like, I don't know what to say.
Well, I just think that ultimately this one for me comes down to self-exploration.
For sure.
And before you're going to go outward and like talk with him about it, first, please be a little kinder to yourself, because it doesn't sound like a lot of compassion is here from either of you for yourself. So try and be a little kinder to yourself and take some time and, figure out where these things are coming from. And I think you'll be on the right path.
Yeah. But just, I would say therapy is always a good place to start.
Therapy's good.
Yeah.
If you have access to that.
Marianne says, hi, Katie and Dana. I want to start off by saying how iconic y'all are and how much I love this podcast. Thank you for making my work commute fun. I recently quit my job as high school Spanish teacher after 6 years, 2 different schools, because it was truly the most draining, overwhelming job imaginable. I recently got hired for a 9-to-5 office job for NYS. I'm so excited to not take grading or lesson planning home, as well as my students' emotional baggage. That being said, Dana, I know you've mentioned quitting your 9-to-5 because it was kind of soul sucking. What's your advice to make having a 9-to-5 a little easier? Even though I know this won't be my dream job, I'm so excited for a change and want to make the best of it. Thank you and love y'all lots.
So the most recent job that I just left, there was actually many reasons why I left, but that wasn't honestly the most soul sucking job I've had. So I wouldn't put that one necessarily in that category. But that career and industry overall is, is soul sucking. But I will say, I think that we did one recently where someone was talking about jumping jobs.
Mhm.
You have to keep in mind, every job is going to have its issues. Every job is going to have something that you don't like. So it's more so about being in the mindset of like weighing the pros and cons. And guess what? There are many pros to having a 9 to 5, and it is, and stability being first and foremost. And for me, that was something and remains something that is really important. So I would say, keeping in mind that also it's just kind of like a hard environment in general right now in the workforce and the economy and everything that's going on. So if you have a 9 to 5, you are a lucky person. And
Mhm.
it's just about keeping, like with most things in life, a positive mindset and remembering the reasons why you chose to go down that path. And also keep in mind that everything is transient. So
Mhm.
just because you're in a 9 to 5 today doesn't mean that is what you have to do for the rest of your life.
Right.
So on the
Like-
days that it doesn't feel great, I would say
Yeah.
keeping that in mind.
Even just now, like kind of changing courses and stuff like that. It sounds like you just want a complete just change of pace and scenery and everything in your life. And you're excited about that. Just going somewhere, putting your time in and being able to go home, like literally clock out and just like go enjoy your day. You're not taking your work home. Like that's it. You go to work and you go home. Like that's what you're excited about. So allow yourself to be excited about that. Just that alone in itself, being able to like, your time at home is your time.
Yeah.
I think that's how you make it enjoyable. So I think having your time at home is where you get to enjoy it. Time at work, I don't think it's like, you need to like spice it up or anything like that, but just like enjoying your time at home for once is how you make it easier. But yeah.
Truly, that whole thing, like when you're at home on TikTok or coloring or knitting or cooking or doing the things that you didn't feel like you had the motivation or ability to do before, like just take a moment and be like, wow, this is pretty great. I can do this myself.
Hell yeah.
Happy for you.
Yeah. Josh says, thank you for responding.
Oh, that was to me. This is the guy that asked for consent before sending his email. It was really sweet.
Wait, he asked for consent? Wait,
yeah, he's like, I have a question, but it's sexual, and I know you guys talk about sexual things, but I want to make sure it's okay that I send in my question.
Oh my God, Josh, you little king.
Yes, it's okay.
Great.
Thank you for sending
Keep that in. That's so sweet.
Basically, I'm a guy in my 20s and I have a big thing for really hot women's feet and shoes, and have since young as far as I can remember. It started with just an interest in women's feet, but then over the years went to dirty feet, then moved into women's shoes too, and now I like to feel humiliated by hot women. Nice. I've only ever watched femdom porn with these involved, not your usual regular porn as you'd expect. I just can't seem to stop the interest in femdom. The issue I'm having is that women's feet / shoes / humiliation is all I seem interested in sexually. Like I've never had a serious girlfriend and never really had sex, etc. I just fantasize about worshiping women's feet or being useful for women and licking the bottom of their shoes clean for them to go out with their friends or dates, etc. Or just them doing the L sign with their hand. This might sound really weird. I hope not too much because I promise I'm just a normal guy, but I'm very lost in knowing what to do with myself. I would love a girlfriend one day, but I struggle to ever know how to even admit or bring up without sounding really strange, and I feel like it needs to be there sexually somehow. I get the basic foot stuff might be able just to be brought up with a partner as it's becoming more normalized, but I struggle with anxiety and would still worry about telling anyone about it as I'm really ashamed, even though it's all harmless and a bit fun. In the past, I've paid some women to be able to lick the bottom of their high heels / boots / flats clean for them via post. And I've paid for women to do a video of the L sign and sometimes just paid for their drinks, etc. because it feels good to me, even though I wish it didn't. But I suppose some advice from you that would be useful. How on earth do I navigate these things with a woman if I meet her and it seems to be going well? How would you react if a guy asked if he could lick the bottom of your shoes clean for you, etc., or pay for your drinks when you're out with friends? And if they did, could you look at them the same after with respect? I worry about that too because I want a normal relationship day to day, but sometimes to kind of submit and be made fun of. But as soon as that moment is over, for it to go back to normal. Or do I just always hide it? I've always done those things anonymously, but before, as I worry so much about people shaming / bullying me, and you can enjoy it without the worries of doing it with your face on show and openly. Any advice would be amazing. If possible, please. P.S. I enjoy the podcast. You're both great. Thank you. Wow.
I have a lot to say about this.
Okay.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I got solutions for you. Okay.
The solution.
First of all, Josh, you are such a sweet person. I can just tell by, first of all, you asking if it was okay to send this in the first place. But then honestly, in everything that the way you worded this, you can just tell. First of all, I'm really sad that you're kink shaming yourself. I can tell that that's happening. This is nothing to be ashamed of. You aren't hurting anyone. It's just like everyone has their thing. So that's totally fine. So please try and work on, before you even move forward with finding this with someone else that you can do it with, about not feeling so ashamed of it, because
be confident.
You have to be confident with it. That doesn't mean on a first date before your gin fizz gets to the table that you're like, hey, what is that loafer you have on there? Let me take a look. It's like maybe eat the appetizer, not the shoe for the first date. That's fine. Okay. But I feel like we'll continually have issues with this if you don't try and remove some of that for yourself. So that's number one. Number two, something that I think could be really helpful for you. So my friend goes to a dominatrix, and he goes to her not for, like, obviously with FinDom, there's like the levels to it and whatever, but it's not just the classic like BDSM getting whipped or whatever. They have these really intense, really useful sessions for him. And actually for him, it isn't even a sexual thing. But it's kind of like some people see therapists and some people go to a dominatrix. I think starting with a dominatrix would be really helpful for you. I know you've like had women send you shoes and sending an L video or whatever, but being in person with someone in a safe space where you're not judged, I think could be a really helpful thing. Not only to have those experiences, but to ask them, like, how do I go about this in my normal life? And also maybe it's something that you're like, if you're trying to compartmentalize it, maybe it's something that you do have in your life. And then when you find yourself in a relationship, then you see if it's the type of relationship where that's something that you can have outside of it, or perhaps open relationship. We just don't know. Mm-hmm. But I do think with the right person, there's a lid for every pot.
Yeah, someone will match your freak, for sure.
Someone will match your freak. So I think that you need to just, and also you're a seemingly normal person and unassuming. So is everyone else around you. So you have no idea what other people are into.
Yeah, but there might be a lovely lady who cannot wait to say that you're a big fucking loser, and she wants you to lick all of her shoes clean by the time she gets home, and then you guys are gonna have a lovely meal and watch like a fun movie together. Maybe kiss each other goodnight.
A little Hallmark season. Like I could see you just watching some nice Hallmark movies on the couch.
Like the possibilities that are out there for you, you just like never know. But just like it's you gotta walk before you run. Just like don't put so much pressure on yourself or in every situation you find yourself in. Like just let things breathe a little bit.
Yeah. And when you do start to meet someone that you like and you want a normal relationship, then great. Then take it slow. Mm-hmm. But be able to be expressive in your sexuality. And like I said, I'm being totally serious. I think a dominatrix could help you with this.
I think that's a great idea.
You know what I mean? I just feel like there's a lot of possibility out there in that. Yeah. And they will have the best advice.
I think, and I think as far as like broaching the topic eventually is just like kind of like people like, or that are just like more like open-minded sexually. I mean, like if you start talking to someone and they're like, they seem pretty rigid, they seem pretty closed-minded, like probably gonna have a harder time with that person in general. Mm-hmm. I mean, just like it's got to be one of those like things on your list of people like as you're like dating and talking, like it's just if this is a important thing for you, like maybe it's just like something that's just not for you.
Yeah.
That person's just probably not for you. I mean, yeah. I don't know how else to explain it, but like, I think.
No, you're right.
Yeah. And I think there's just ways to kind of like get there with a person in conversation.
And I think, thank you for sharing this with us.
Yeah.
This is really sweet. And if you do go to a dominatrix, please write back in and let us know.
Yeah. I want to know about that.
We want to know. Colin says, hey, Katie and Dana, listener from day one, need some advice from one 36-year-old girly to you. I had a huge falling out with my group of friends over venting about someone in the group without naming names on social media. There was a joke about a miscarriage that didn't sit with me, having lost 2 pregnancies myself. I find I've had far more life experience in the group, so they might not know their jokes were hurtful, so I vented online. Half of the girls from the group split off who agreed with me and half didn't. All the girls who didn't had their significant others also remove connection with me. About 10 total people just removed me from their lives. It was all on the same day, blocking me on the usual Facebook, Instagram, Venmo. Who does that?
Pinterest.
No one communicated with me or confronted me. I heard vague rumblings that they all collectively decided to remove me, and all orchestrated by one guy in the group. I have asked the group who agree with my actions to not bring up the others in convo when we hang out. I don't want to know what they're doing or what their lives are about. If they wanted a clean break, I should have one too. However, shutting down the gossip is hard. Cue my kink is karma. Anyways, 2 years have passed, and now other people in the group have confronted me and apologized to me about their behavior. I want to mature and forgive, but I was really hurt by the sudden break. My best friend said I should hear them out, listen, and realize they are on a healing journey, but my brain is warning me of the whiplash behavior. I don't trust it. Do I hear them out, or do I confirm what is done and move on?
I don't really look at this as like whiplash behavior. So it's been 2 years. I think, babe, move on.
Yeah.
Like literally like move on. I mean, I think like you're 36, like ill jokes, like you don't have to stand for that. And if that's not what you want in your life, you can take out the trash, and like that's you're totally allowed to like have the people in your life who you want. And I think when it causes division in a group and you feel like there's sides being taken, it's hard not to feel like grossed out by that. But I think years later, if people are like, hey, I'm really sorry about that. That was wrong of me. I think you got to be like, no problem. Like that was so long ago, water under the bridge. I'm glad that like you realize now. Let's move on. Like I think after years, you can probably put it behind you.
Proud of you at the time for standing on business. I think that if a bunch of people decided not to be friends with you because you voiced that you were frustrated about an uncouth joke, I can't imagine a world in which any joke would be funny about someone else's miscarriage. So that's like strange to me. But
yeah,
I'm guessing what lingers over time now is more of the feeling about the whole coup of it all. So I do understand that. But like Katie says, I don't think this is whiplash. I think that people do grow and change. And I think that these two things can coexist. You forgiving them and moving on and acknowledging, like, I'm glad you see the error in your ways and whatever, but just keeping a mental note of how you were treated. Like, it's okay to move on. It doesn't mean you need to be best friends with these people. And who knows, maybe it will develop in that way. But I'm more a student of like, forgive people, but just remember, like, it doesn't mean you need to ruminate on it, but it also doesn't mean you need to then be completely open to them and whatnot. Like, it maybe have some protections up and your guard up and just be like, I'm mature enough to have these people in my space and in my friend group, but you know, they did what they did. So time will prove if they have really changed and grown or not.
Yeah. I think they could have been like, wow, like she was absolutely correct back then. And this is the type of person that I want to like have in my life because, you know, people, you know, integrity and they, grow and change, they mature. So I think maybe hear them out, hear why they're coming around, why they're, you know, they're wanting to hear about their healing journey. I don't know. But yeah, if your brain is warning you of something, you know them better. But like, I just say, why not?
Agreed.
Okay. Anyway, Anonymous says, hey ladies, I'd like to remain anonymous just in case someone I know hears this, and I don't like people all up in my personal business. First of all, love you both and the podcast. Y'all are hilarious. Seriously, you guys make my commute to and from work worth it. So thank you. I need some help. I have been with my boyfriend for almost 8 years now. Things are great. However, I feel like we should be taking the next step, you know, getting engaged/married and having kids. I am so unsure about having kids. For background, I'm 32 and my boyfriend is 38. Neither of us have ever wanted kids from day one, but now that we're getting older and all of our friends are having kids, I feel like there is so much pressure put on us, me specifically, because I would be the one carrying said child. I have no idea really what my boyfriend wants because he has a hard time opening up about anything. I love this man and I'm terrified that if I don't produce kids, he will leave me. So my question is, how do I get him to open up about our future and what we both want for us? Thanks for the advice and any help. Stay awesome. You've been with this man for 8 years and you don't know what he wants, but then, and you said neither of you have ever wanted kids from day one. So like, do you want kids or don't want kids? Spending that much time with somebody, especially, you know, I'm not saying at this age or whatever, but I think those are important conversations to have. Like, where is this going? What do you want for the future? Do you want marriage? Do you want kids? I mean, I think, like, I'm just wondering what people are doing in these relationships for these long terms. It's just like not just like high-fiving each other. Like
Well-
never talking about like, what are we doing?
Well, also, whenever someone says, I'm terrified if I don't produce kids, he will leave me. Okay, but if you don't end up wanting kids, that's something first you need to know about yourself then, know where you stand. But then also, like, if someone is going to leave you, they're going to leave you for whatever reason. So I don't think there's any, especially how long you guys have been dating, the ages you're at, any need to be precious about it or like sugarcoat something or hide something of yourself that you're afraid of, because it is kind of crunch time, I would say, at this point, based on what you're describing. Every situation's different. But I think that you just get real honest. You need to sit down and say, I love you. I love what we have. This is what I'm thinking for the future. This is what I've decided for kids and what the long term looks like. I really just want to take time and connect with you and make sure that we're aligned and kind of see what's going on. I know that it's, hard for you to have these conversations, but it's important to have them.
Yeah.
Like, he's a 38-year-old man. Sometimes it's hard to open up, but like, you gotta.
Yeah. Like has a hard time opening about anything. Like, do you know this person? I don't know. I can't imagine being someone for 8 years and like not knowing a damn thing about them. But yeah, I think most importantly, figure out if you even want kids.
Yeah.
And take that information to him and see, temperature check his ass and see what he wants to do. But also don't feel like the pressure is on you because of like your friends. And I know that pressure. I felt that pressure and like I let it, definitely like manifest in myself as well. But like, you need to just sit outside of that and say like, what do I want? Not because of what everyone else has. And I should probably like do the same thing, but like genuinely, like that is a huge decision.
Right.
So yeah. Well,
Okay.
I hope you figure it out. I hope this helps.
Hope this helps.
Anyways, thanks for writing in, you guys.
Oh, we just love you so much. Please continue to write in. disrespectfullypod@gmail.com. Send us your stories. Send us questions, advice, your WWDDs.
Mm-hmm.
Put SBF on. Rate our pod.
Don't shave your face.
Tell your friends. Don't dermaplane without a buddy system.
Mm-hmm. With your eyes closed. Anyway.
Okay, I think that's it.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye. Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.